Art is hard. We deal with failure, constant doubts, frustration, and a never-ending learning curve. So I want to start this year with 6 healthy art habits we can all implement to level up our art skills. And while I talk, you can watch me draw some portrait exercises, so enjoy. And let's start right away with number 1. Don't fall for the tutorial trap. Now, I know this sounds weird coming from someone who creates tutorials and educational videos on YouTube, but don't get trapped in following someone else's footsteps. It is too easy and convenient to keep consuming advice from other artists while you lose your own way. Besides from being stuck in just consuming and not actually making art, all this advice might sound logical and helpful in theory, but once you try to apply it might just not work for you personally. This doesn't mean all these artists and people on the internet are wrong, it's just simply not useful for all of us. None of these artists out there have been in your shoes. Everyone has their very own goals, and don't forget, it's also about making the process fun. From my own experience, I followed and supported some of your average S-tier artists, convinced if I study their process, it will help me with my own. But I soon realized what they teach does not work for me. It wasn't fun, it didn't click for me, so I made the call to move on and find other methods which work better for me. And I think that's my point here. You need to be honest with yourself and make the final call. Don't let anyone else dictate you where to go and how. You are your own manager. I found it very useful to compare lots of different viewpoints, take away what I can until I get this feeling it's time to move on and carve my own way. It's not easy to fight your way through this jungle of information out there, but don't fall into the trap of being influenced to be someone else. In my videos, I say all the time, all I can offer you is my personal viewpoint and my own experience. It's not a one-fits-all magical potion. You can take away some tips which align with your own goals, but you might as well completely disagree, and that's totally fine. And since we're talking about falling into traps, a friendly reminder that there are lots of people out there who have no idea what they're talking about, but still feel the need to lecture others, so be very selective and confident about choosing your idols. Have high standards, sure, be open to other opinions, but ultimately make the final call for yourself. In the end, all these opinions contradict each other anyway. Some say in order to paint on a professional level, you need to be able to draw on a professional level, others disagree. Some say never blend, never use tool X, the list is endless. They will tell you to draw every day, they will tell you not to draw every day, they will tell you to keep a sketchbook, they will tell you you don't need a sketchbook, yada yada. Oh, and by the way, never let anyone guilt trap you into not using references. Just mix and match the information you see and make it fit into your routine. Have clear goals, try out different methods. This way you can find out what you like and enjoy doing. And if you're a bit lost with how to filter information, here's number 2. Collect problems. I mean, this sounds very easy because we all have like a million problems with creating art, right? But if you push aside this overwhelming feeling of not being good enough, it's helpful to actually collect specific problems. So instead of always having thoughts like, I suck at anatomy, which is very vague, that what's an actual problem you can target specifically? Are you maybe struggling with proportions, or is it certain body parts? Because then you can selectively study those fields. Or instead of feeling lost and overwhelmed with color in general, ask yourself, are you maybe unhappy with the color saturation, temperature, variation? The more precise you are with your problems, the better, because once you're more aware of your skills or the lack of skills, the easier you can set your goals for the future. What I like to do even while I'm creating artwork is asking myself and reflecting what I like and don't like about what I did. For example, sometimes I look at my portraits and think the shadows are a bit too flat, so the next time I draw, I try to pay more attention to the values. It helps to target 1 to 2 problems in your next artwork. Don't overwhelm yourself by wanting to create something perfect. Spoiler alert, it won't be perfect anyway. It may sound weird, but keeping track track of my very own specific problems, I actually learned to be more forgiving with myself. I'm able to see more and more progress over time because I tackled separate fields I can then, once I understood them better, put together as a whole. My next tip for a healthier art habit would be to create healthy loops such as study, apply, play. This, for me, might be one of the most important habits I created for myself to not burn out. What's more important to reach your goals, more important than to master a technique, creating a stunning artwork, it's to keep going, for sure. As long as things move, you'll make progress. Keep things flowing, keep doing it, because once you stop, you'll stand still and lose momentum. That doesn't mean breaks are not allowed. It just means stressing out about a subject, a technique, a material, an exercise is a potential factor for burning out and art block, which kills the fun and joy and your motivation. So to prevent that from happening, I always try to switch it up. Find a loop which works for you. After doing a lot of studies, I tend to get a bit bored, so to infuse a bit creativity, I get back to playing around a bit more, maybe exploring a new medium, not worrying about the result and just trying to have fun. Other times, I feel like I really need to test my new knowledge, and that's when I try to combine playing and applying. There is no set rule to this, really. It's more like keeping things interesting for me and not too monotone. Sometimes I do more studies to give myself a break from creativity. Sometimes I play and experiment more to give myself a break from studies. But whatever the loop looks like at the moment, I always switch it up, and this really helps me to keep going overall. The last thing I want to be is feeling stuck, and with these loops, I honestly haven't had a real art block anymore. I remember back then I could get quite fixated on one subject or problem I had, which was like a total blockade, and I was too stubborn to let it go for that moment and maybe just return to it after some time has passed. Now I learned to be more patient with myself, and I'm allowing myself to move on to other things once I feel like the wheels are just spinning on the spot. But this is just me. I know there are other artists who most of the time just play. I know some just study. For me personally, study, apply, play is the healthiest loop to keep the momentum. The next habit is something I want to do more often this year, and that is to revisit the same subjects. If you ever feel like you're running out of references or don't know what to draw, how about just redrawing one of your portraits you already did? I think this is an excellent exercise to boost your confidence, because I guarantee you will see how much you improved from the last time. It's a great opportunity to test yourself and knowledge you collected, and you can switch it up by using different mediums, a different style, or studying a different aspect of the model. In fact, I am actually doing this exact thing in this video. I drew this portrait here before with graphite with a time limit of under an hour. This time I used some markers and gave myself a bit more time. It's really cool to see different results with the same reference. And to take it a bit further, I even think it's very interesting to paint the same idea again, as let's say multiple versions. You can set yourself up for a study challenge, so let's say you draw the same reference 3 times. The first time you use 1 shadow color, the second time 3, and the third time 5. Or you try out different color schemes. No matter what, I definitely think this will give you a lot of insights about your skills. Another habit I ignored for too long, which now absolutely clicked for me, is to zoom out regularly. For digital artists, it's literally zooming, and for traditional artists, I mean more like lean or step back, stop your tunnel vision on that one detail, relax your eyes, observe the bigger picture. This is something I always shrugged off as a generic advice every artist gives you, but now with a bit more experience, I do agree. I used to be super focused on details like eyelashes, single hair strands, but completely ignored values, shape design, and the overall silhouette. By now I have my go-to method, starting with very rough straight shapes and an envelope, working my way up to the more complicated shapes and finishing with detail work. That being said, I still catch myself hyper-focusing on the more unimportant details too soon, so I want to make it a habit this year to just step back regularly. And when I talk about looking at the whole picture, I don't just mean standing 2 feet back and then jumping right back in. I also also mean to generalize the whole artwork or drawing. For example, and this is a good habit in general working with references, try squinting your eyes sometimes. It allows you to see the simpler shapes and shows you the most important information. Very useful for shadow shapes and how they determine the character of a portrait. So yeah, zoom out, don't let your art hypnotize you, stay sharp when it comes to basic information. And my last healthy tip for today will be to practice explaining what you do. And I don't mean actually explaining it, talking to yourself. It's more of an internal conversation you have with yourself while you create art. It's always good to ask yourself why you do what you do. I mean, don't drive yourself crazy overthinking every little thing, but often we get too carried away drawing and painting passively. I guess my whole point is to create art more conscious and actively. It's more about making decisions instead of the usual, this is how I always do it. Try to break your patterns from time to time and ask yourself why you chose to blend this area, why you chose the specific color. It can help you to figure out how your artist's brain works and then direct it into the direction you want to go. For example, values. It could be, I chose the darkest value for this spot because this is the core shadow and my scenario has strong sunlight. Or I chose to pick up this light blue as an accent color in the shadows to create color variation and contrast to the overall warm atmosphere. Or I chose this edge to be a lost edge because I want to portray softness. Edges are a good example and they are something I want to focus on more in this year. You have 3 types of edges. There are lost edges, which you let completely and softly fade out. There are hard edges with really sharp borders with no blending, and there are soft edges which are blended a little bit for a softened transition. In the future, I really want to ask myself, do I want this core shadow to be very dramatic, meaning it should be a hard edge? Do I want to soften, or do I want to have some lost edges for smooth skin transitions? Then once I noticed I have no explanation for something I did, this is something I should improve and make an active decision. It's kind of like pitching your own art to yourself, but in your head. And what I notice is the more you can explain, the more confident you are about your own art. And sure, if you just want to have fun, you can ignore this, but this is more if you want to improve and are looking for ways to build a better confidence as an artist. Anyway, these are all my habits which worked for me so far, and I'm really looking forward to expanding these in the future. Let me know what you think. I had a lot of fun with my little studies here. Please let me know what your healthy art habits are in the comments, and I'll see you next time.